Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play.
We have a Eurovision.
Get all the updates. Join the conversation with Alesia Michelle.
Sean, who are you wearing?
She did it.
Starting now.
Greetings, folks. Greetings. I think good evening, Europe is correct, and maybe it's good morning, Australia. I'm Alesia Michelle, and there's a whole bunch of things that we have to talk about. This is my second live state of play this Eurovision season, and I'm really excited to be here because we had a whole bunch of news drop. There's a whole bunch of things to talk about. And I think where I want to start and where I'd like to actually kick off today, I think is kind of talking about maybe a little bit of like the proverbial elephant in the room. But before we even get into that, I'm going to hop into some of these comments. Hello, folks. Hello, you're here. Someone was like, I'm not ready yet. I have to do my homework. Well, I hope that you might be ready now, okay? And then Gospodin asked, will you react to the Benidorm Fest tonight or will you do it another day? I am actually going to do a live reaction to Benidorm Fest. I'm going to do it after this state of play. So if you want to kind of keep it locked here, so to speak, we can do this. Okay. So, a lot of folks talking about the intro. You might have missed it the first time around, but I'm ready to go. Let's hop into talking about the elephant in the room, which is, Israel's participation. And so the EBU did finally do like a statement of sorts. Now it's interesting because this wasn't like a statement that is on Eurovision.tv. I think maybe a news outlet reached out to them and then they answered the question. So this has now been the statement that is circulating around. So I won't read the whole thing, but I'll give you the gist. Okay, so the EBU is a member-led organization. The EBU's governing bodies, led by the board of directors, represent the members. These bodies assess the list of participants and decided that the Israeli public broadcaster complies with all competition rules together with 36 other broadcasters. It will be able to participate in the competition next year. And then the other piece that they sort of added on, at the moment, there is an inclusive attitude towards Israeli participants in major competitions. The Eurovision Song Contest remains a non-political event, uniting audiences worldwide through music. Okay, so I don't think that this is so much about like what my personal opinion of this is. And I think I've been relatively, I think I've been relatively like, kind of the same about how I feel about this across the board. So if folks are wondering, in general, I have always been like, just because someone belongs to a country that is a bad actor in the world, I don't know if I feel like that should exclude them from being able to participate in world events, because it's like you're punishing the people who might not necessarily be in lockstep and alignment and agreement with what their government is doing. For example, I did not vote for Donald Trump. I don't agree with, I think, really anything that he says, to be quite frank with you. And like what? Then if I want to travel to certain countries, it's like, well, we don't want any Americans in because like your government is doing XYZ thing. Like, so my attitude on that for a Eurovision application has always been, well, I don't think we should punish the people for the actions of like a government. And if, the Eurovision contest is supposed to be this like apolitical event, then like, is that really fair to those folks? Here's where I think it becomes complicated. And I want to say that I'm seeing some of this stuff, like, I don't believe everything that I see on the internet. I know that people make a lot of shit up. I know that AI is now a real thing. I know that, some people are real good and tight with the Photoshop skills. So I say all this to say, I think where I become slightly troubled is just because it seems like the broadcaster that broadcasts Eurovision in Israel is maybe engaging in a little bit of like propaganda. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of doing a lot of things. Now, to be fair, like you're there, you're sort of like not just rallying the troops, but rallying your base and whatnot. So I'm not saying that that's crazy, but I mean, we did like Russia's now no longer participating. And I think this is like the situation that I think of. It's like you have like artists like Amnesia who, could represent Russia at Eurovision and use this platform as someone who is Russian to kind of say, like, I don't agree with what my government is doing, like, and I'm an artist and I want to, show people that there's another side of my country. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's sort of always been kind of like where I'm living. And I think one time someone did ask me a comment and kind of was like, well, Alicia, that's like naive because like, like why would a broadcaster allow someone who maybe is like having an oppositional take as their government, like as a representative for Eurovision? And to me, I'll just say if the EBU can go on and make up some votes and scores, if a jury is doing like funny business, I kind of feel like the EBU could then make the decision to select the artists to represent a certain country. And yes, at Eurovision, we love it when a country wins and then they get to host the next year. But if, Ukraine was unable to host, the UK stepped in, I feel like we could have a situation like that. So I just want to be clear about kind of my like stance on it. And also reflect because I don't want to seem like I'm ignoring like this piece or anything. So let me hop into let me hop into some of the comments that are related to this. So Laura says, honestly, disappointed in the EBU. And then, well, and we know Veritas said, true, if Israel can be in, why not Palestine? Well, they don't have a broadcaster. But like, what would be like, wouldn't it be great? Like, and maybe revolutionary if like the Israeli broadcaster like wanted to like offer platform to someone who is Palestinian? Like, wouldn't that be revolutionary? Won't happen though, right? Cohen says 37 participating countries is so disappointing. Like the EBU really has to do something to make it more affordable for poor broadcasters. I want to talk about this a little bit later. We talked about it before, but we didn't have our participant list. So I want to kind of circle back to that too. Gospodin said EBU better start searching for the new general sponsor of the contest, which Moroccan oil will stop being after the 2024 contest. Well, let's see. I am Stevan says Can has broken the rules. They should be excluded. Well, let's dig into that. Let's see. And ESC Dakota says the bottom line is the double standard. If Russia is out, then Israel has to be out. Full stop. And I'll be honest, I'm not, because this is the thing. Selfishly, I want as many countries participating at Eurovision as possible. Right? Like, selfishly, I want as many countries participating as possible. And I want to see as much diversity on the stage as I possibly can. Diversity of sound, diversity of genre, diversity of background, languages, etc. And it is kind of unfortunate because I do think, and I enjoyed, there are Russian entries that I enjoyed at Eurovision. And there are plenty of Russian artists and performers that have been brave enough to speak out against the government. And I mean that, and like, I want to like really own that is a really brave thing to do when you are working in totalitarian government regimes and like living like under a dictator. That's a really brave thing to do. And I just wonder, like, by excluding Russia, from the Eurovision Song Contest, and there are some other nuances here, but by excluding them, then how are we finding a way to embrace those individuals that are so brave to speak out? Just, but this is me coming from, I will say, more of an idealistic standpoint than a pessimistic one. So yeah. So Emmanuel, but the broadcasters are state-owned, so it's harder to draw the line. Again, if we had situations where a broadcaster and their jury might be engaging in some funny business, and we can essentially, I don't want to say make up, but we can remove the scores that they gave and come up with something else that seems to be more fair and more equitable, then to me, I just don't see why we can't do something else. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. So Benjamin says, by the way, can basically confirm they're going to be sending propaganda song in one of their statements that was basically like, we're sending propaganda and you can deal with it. Well, that hasn't happened yet. And here's the thing. If Israel, and maybe we don't have to belabor this, but if Israel decides to send a song that is even referencing the situation in a way that is skewed or political, then I think that Israel will find themselves in the same position that Belarus found themselves in. And if the EBU is not hip enough, and I don't think that this is the case, I feel positive that if they decide to turn over some song that is like really propaganda-y and like, you know, it could even be something as slight as like, we deserve a home, kind of foolish, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like kind of coded, like it's like a coded thing of like the, you know, whatever, that I think then the EBU can step in. So, yeah. So I think let's just, I want to say, let's see. Because technically it is not too late for the EBU to consider. Now, a lot of people are talking about a boycott and whatnot. Is a boycott really going to happen in a way, like en masse in a way that is going to be effective enough for the EBU to get it? As someone who like works in movement building spaces and whatnot, you know, the tactics are important. You have to be very clear what your goal is, and you have to figure out if the tactics that you will employ will actually yield you the results that you are seeking. And I think the only way that it could be somewhat felt is if people just decided to not consume any EBU content. And so, like, you could probably support so for Eurovision folks, you could probably support fan sites and whatnot, but like that would mean you would need to not watch any of the any videos posted on the Eurovision.tv. I think there would need to be like mass unfollowing of all Eurovision properties. There would have to be I'm just telling you things that I think would actually have to occur in order for them to feel it. So I would just say, if you want to do this, there are ways of doing it that could be effective, but uncoordinated, unplanned action tends to not yield the results with which you are seeking. So, yeah, yeah. So I think I think I've stated my opinion. I've said kind of where I'm living. All right. I think we're going to move to the next topic. Because I think we could talk about this for forever. But I think what I'd like to underscore is, if you're going to take action, let it be thoughtful, let it be coordinated. And spoiler alert, petitions don't work in the way that they used to. So I wouldn't spend my time on that. I would be thinking of actual coordinated like action. And you could easily do this digitally, and maybe that will yield something. But also, I will say, again, let's see what they deliver. Let's see what they actually deliver, and let's not assume that what is going to be delivered is gonna cause, will be out of bounds. Okay, I want to talk about, because this was kind of like the news of today. So first I want to start off and say, I saw like the tweet, of course, late, that they decided to put some tickets for sale again. Again, no notice. They just dropped it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am trying to procure tickets, not for myself. I am trying to procure tickets for my family. for my daughter to go to the show, probably like with my mom and my stepfather. So I didn't get any tickets today, y'all. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit annoyed. Because I was working. I would have attempted to try and find some tickets. So hopefully I will be able to get some tickets soon. Hopefully that'll happen. But, I'm not going to keep my hopes up. So let's just talk about this theme art, because a lot of people aren't feeling it. Now, I will tell you, this theme art feels very in alignment with where I see a lot of online design trends going. Yeah, like it seems like some people are not liking the minimalism, so I don't know if we've got more of it. But yeah, here we go. Here's another view of it. So I've been seeing these trends in design where it is sort of like, and mostly this United by Music piece, where it's like kind of a simple serif font and then like sort of like a bold background, but also this idea of like kind of boxing pieces. So even like the way that this entire like theme is sort of framed, where you have like in the corner and then down, like with the like numbers kind of small, like these are like legitimate like design trends that I just see kind of going around. Now, here's the problem with it. It's a little bit trendy. So the thing is, I don't think that this is like a design that will stand the test of time. I think that this is a design designed to feel very reflective of like what the design trends are right now. But I'm not gonna lie. I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it. And hold on, I'm gonna hop into the comments. They're like, it's SVT. It's going to look amazing on TV. I agree with that. And what do we say? Oh, Gospodin says, I actually love it. We just need to move on from 2016 era. I think the concept of Northern Lights is great. And then Amani says, I like the color scheme. Hold on real quick. Yavi says, I'm sorry to say, I'm a little disappointed you don't really care that Israel is participating when they are literally exterminating their neighbors. Did I say I didn't care that they're participating? I don't think I said that. Actually, how about I make it very clear? I didn't say that I don't care. What I am saying is that as an American third party, really not involved in like the EBU processes, I'm saying like, I think we can wait. We're not that close to the competition. So the fact that like Israel is participating, like there's still time that maybe they won't. And again, I center the individual and like the performer, and like I don't know who's going to be representing Israel. If it's going to be someone where they're wearing like not army fatigue, but like they're wearing like military uniforms and like all of their stuff, like then yeah, I will not be happy with that situation, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So I'm just saying we should wait. And I feel like, and I also said, I kind of said, like, if you want to actually boycott, I don't think petitions are effective. And I literally said what I thought would be an effective way of like maybe digitally, virtually protesting, because just saying to every post online, boycott Israel, boycott, or, like exclude Israel, like on everything that they post, like, I don't think that that is going to move the needle with the organization. Like, I don't think that that's going to move them. I thought I saw something else because I really would like to, yeah. So I don't know if this really answers your question. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, I think let's wait. I'm just like, let's wait, because there's still time. They just announced the participant list, and again, Belarus submitted a song, and then they did not compete. So there's still time. So yeah, like I just think that there's time. So, MG says not everything has to be about politics. It's a fun music competition. But I will say this, if we look at the root of the word politics, like, isn't that like politics is really like poly people? So, like, politics reflect our lives, and it does show up in spaces. So I'm not saying that like, oh, it's Eurovision, like I just have like my blinders on. Like, that's not how I live my existence. But I do think like I just want us to be clear. So yeah. So I just want to be clear. And so okay, so now we're just like going off in the comments like on stuff. And like Logo said, why is the Eurovision community so anti-Semitic? I don't think that the Eurovision community en masse is anti-Semitic. And not being okay with like war and disagreeing with governments is very different than anti-Semitism. But we're not. Yeah, let's so y'all can keep going. Okay. Eurovision was created to be about peace, not politics. It was, but politics do show up in our lives. It does. It reflects our lives. So like I was always in the camp of like, I didn't feel like 1944 was like a political song. That was the camp I lived in. It was like a personal story that I kind of felt. And I was like, what, we can't talk about history? I mean, they had a song about Genghis Khan. And so yeah. Okay, so I don't hate this design scheme. I'm just gonna go back. We'll transition to this. I don't hate it. I just do think it's going to feel dated. I think like 5 years from now, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, like remember when we were doing like all the kind of like basic serif fonts and like, moving the text around and like housing like photos in certain areas and things like that. I don't think it'll hold up, but I actually do think I like the idea of the Northern Lights. I think we'll be able to play with it well with some of like, I'm thinking like the transitions and things, but I do think when you're just sort of looking at these graphics, it could be really complicated. If that makes it like, I kind of feel like I need to see it more in motion. And I think in motion I will appreciate it, but I don't think I'm going to love the printed materials. Because this, like, I get it. It feels like a design pitch. It feels like this looks like very much so like a design pitch like deck. And I think once we begin to see it like in the show, it'll look better and it'll be stronger. Yeah, oh, wait. Oh, here we go. Cohen says, this is what happens if you don't give the broadcaster full freedom on a theme and suitable artwork. This looks like a PowerPoint template made in 2008. But I'm saying, like, that's a good point. But it does, again, I am telling you, I work in, like, digital media. This is, like, kind of a trend. There are elements of this that I just feel are kind of like a trendy design feel. Fernando says, I think they wanted to go minimal, but it kind of looks unfinished. I don't know. I think there's a level of it, like the unfinishedness of it and not like some of the over design of it, then makes it feel more effortless. And I think people think it makes it feel more DIY and like more youthful and like cool. Like, and I kind of feel like that's what I have. Andrew says that Sweden has always been awful with logos. Now, I really liked Malmö the last time. I did. I liked that logo. I'm like, and honestly, 2016, I'm actually trying to think of like the swag that I had. And I liked 2016, but 2016 was a little bit busy. So this is different. This is giving like a little bit more simple. Yeah, because 2016 I felt actually was like a little bit more designed. Well, Joseph says it could be due to SVT wanting to do everything cheap. I'm telling you, they probably spend a lot of money on this design concept. It is very now. It's very now. But yeah, I liked 2013. And okay, I'm not alone. So, the Olympic says the butterfly theme in 2013 was all right. Star Tom said Andrew is wrong because 2013 was amazing. I liked 2013. I thought that was actually really, really pretty. And sorry. Do says, I feel like we complain every year, but when we see the full vision on TV, we are always amazed. And you know what? I think I'm going to end on that. Because I think I want to see it in motion. I want to see it in motion, and I think once we see it in motion, it will be yielding very cool. I think it'll look cool. I think it'll look trendy. I think it'll feel a little bit youthful. I mean, here's the thing, like the theme and the logo really are to pull in people. Like we're already in. So they don't have to do a lot to like convince us, like yeah, we don't have to do a lot to like convince us. Now I want to move on. Well, hold on. Let me see. Can we talk about Luxembourg a little bit? Let me just say, for Luxembourg to be coming back, I just felt like they kind of snuck in the announcement of their participants. And maybe it's our fault. Maybe it's our fault as the fan community. And maybe we should have been doing more online, because I'm gonna pull this up. And actually, I probably should have just left it open, but I'm gonna look at this. All right. So we can check this out. Okay, so like Luxembourg announced their 8 participants. Yeah, 8 participants. And what are y'all feeling? Because I will be honest, I have not gone into the back catalog yet. I've not gone into the back catalog. I've been very busy this week. I will do my homework this weekend. I promise you. I promise I will do this. And let me hop in. So I'm Stefan says, I think we did a lot for Luxembourg so far. But the thing is, I feel like when the folks were announced, like I wasn't necessarily seeing a sea of posts like posting some of the artists like past performances on TV. Like I just feel like I hadn't really seen that. But maybe it's just because we're gonna warm up and they're gonna do some things. But I just thought it was gonna be like a splashier drop of the people. But I will say, so I did a TikTok about it. And so with no context and just kind of looking at the images, I said that I was kind of feeling like hype for Edson, because I felt like, okay, it'll be a good vocal. The hair was doing something. It seemed like we had an outfit. Edson's in the red. Seemed like we had an outfit, so styling. So I was like, okay, this could be interesting. I also said Naomi Aye, she seems young. I think she's like 15 now, and like then she'll be turning 16, so she will be Eurovision eligible. But I don't know, it was something about the pose of this that was telling me I was going to get, possibly some opera, possibly something like, a little mix. Like it was just giving polished. And even though she's youthful, like I was kind of like, I'm curious, but I'm nervous for my young performers. I always have a little bit of nerves for my young performers. And, I was like, well, maybe this will be our introduction to her, but it won't be the last time that we could possibly experience her talent. So I'm curious about that. I have heard though, and then I did say I was kind of equally excited about One Last Time, because it was giving me a little bit of like a rock moment potential. And so I was like, I'm always kind of here for that. And it'd be kind of cool if like Luxembourg came back with something really, really bombastic. So it's like, oh, there's no way that you're going to like kind of forget that like we're back like in the mix. And so I was kind of thinking the group and even just like we're coming in force instead of like, oh, here's our one act. It's like, we got a band, like we're coming in here. But I heard like, what is it? Child? Some people were saying that they were hyped for Child. So let me hop into here. So Gary says the only thing I saw about this was a meme about one of the participants being a 15-year-old. Okay. And then, Ole says, I'm disappointed that all the songs are in English. So I did read that. And I kind of was like, is there still time? Like, maybe we need to be loud about the fact that we would like, that we want something more ethnic if we possibly can. And yeah, if all the songs are in English, that does make me a little less excited. I'm still curious. I'm still curious. The breadcrumbs have been effective. But yeah, I am kind of like, like, that's kind of a miss, right? Like, that's sort of a miss. Okay, let me see. So Radoslav says, since we're talking about a country with 5 victories in the contest history, I bet the broadcaster is trying to give us quality in this national selection. I think that that's what we're thinking. I think that's why it is like some hype. Benjamin says, it's very promising, but I'm going to need to hear songs before judging. Well, of course, we got to do that. And then, okay, Bettina says, I just hope the entries from Luxembourg Song Contest are good and the production of the national final will at least be decent. I think so. Like, because this is the thing. Like, if you're going to come back, the EBU even, like, made an announcement on the stage about, like, Luxembourg coming back. To come back with something boo-boo would be really fraud, right? Like, that can't happen. I almost feel like, you know, would this be too much? I almost feel like the EBU should, I'm not saying give them like money, but they should have like really ensured that this national selection was going to be clean and good, right? Like they should have really ensured, like before they promoted too much. That's what I would have done. That's what I will do. And then Maria B says there is a short video on YouTube, Luxembourg Song Contest, who will compete with snippets of the artist songs. Are you saying, Maria B, that I need to hop into that? Because I think, yeah. Lori has a point here. I'm a little tired of the thought of teenagers in ESC. You know, I think I would prefer, because Eurovision is such a big stage, because Eurovision is, it can be so stressful, like the pressure is real. And some performers, I think, are up to the challenge. They're seasoned. They, you know, have been singing since they were young. Some of them, I know some of the countries have The Voice kids. So these kids are already like seasoned and perhaps the skin is thick enough. But I mean, I oftentimes think back to Bulgaria, Eurovision 2017. And our young performer, you know, did say like, oh, I was so bummed after it. And it's like, you came second. And that to me reminded me like, whoa, yeah, you were really young and probably too young for this. So yeah, I think I live in a world where I would prefer like probably 21 and up, quiet as it's kept, like 23 and up. Because it is a big weight that ultimately a performer has to carry. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. So I am still excited for Luxembourg. I just want to make that clear. I am living in a world where I'm excited for Luxembourg. I am curious, but I think we gotta do more, right? We gotta get a little bit more hype. And so I guess that's a note for me. I'm gonna try and do a reaction to some of the snippets of these folks' past performances. I'm gonna do it for you. We gotta do it, and I'm gonna be in the lab. Let's move on and talk about Joost. Okay, let's talk about it. We have our representative for the Netherlands. Okay, for the Netherlands. That's where we're going to next. Yeah. Let's go to that. So Joost, I have been deep in the rabbit hole on YouTube of his performances. Here's the thing with him. I think that we're going to get a song in Dutch, right? This is going to be in Dutch. Everything that I heard from him, I didn't hear anything from him in English. Everything that I went down was in Dutch. And so that's one. The Netherlands, you're already getting like a +1 from me. 2, the genre. I love it. It's like he's given like kind of like rap, like electro. There's a little sense of humor with it. Like, I just feel like I'm really liking his energy. I'm liking the visuals that I am seeing from him. I mean, this is going to like, is it bad? Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. He will qualify, right? He seems like a seasoned act. He is popular in the Netherlands. So this is not like they're sending some person who, you know, maybe is some indie artist and this is their first opportunity up at bat. I have seen him perform live. He's bringing energy. And the thing is, there is still variety in the catalog. Like I listened to a song that was actually kind of like a little bit like dark electro rap, like sort of like on a downbeat, like kind of serious vibes. Then I saw some stuff that was just hype and joyful. Thank you. Thank you. And that's why sometimes some countries need to not qualify, just to get a little bit of a reality check of like, you cannot mail it in. Like, this is not a done deal for you. And I really feel like the Netherlands is coming back correct after what went down last year. Yeah, like I am really, really hopeful for him. And I really, really love his vibe. And so let me hop into these comments. Fernando says, I'm ready for the cha-cha-cha compare, and says, look, this guy's been in the industry for a minute. Like, before I heard Katia, and I was seeing stuff from him. So, like, if people start doing that, let's not just think that the thing that happened at Eurovision, like, set the stage for, like, everybody else. Like, people have back catalogs and have a style and genre that's true to them. Olivia says, the Dutch broadcaster confirmed the song will be in Dutch. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Do 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 da 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 da. My fear is that he said that he wrote a Eurovision song and it's giving oh no. He said this. Let's be hopeful. Let's be hopeful. Let's be hopeful. Oh, let's be hopeful. Okay. I'm going to be hopeful. Hello World. It'll be a mix of happy, hardcore, techno, and hip hop, which he usually puts out, really. Yeah, that's kind of like what I feel like I was getting from the vibe. So as long as he like stays true to himself and what he created, I think we're in for a treat. Someone said he's more like Little Mix, not like Katia. Well, y'all know, I don't really know Little Mix. They didn't hit it in the States. But I did see a video from, I guess, one of the girls that was in Little Mix, and it wasn't giving. I don't know who that girl was. I think people could accuse her. I don't know what. I could like see her. She looks like a Bratz doll. But didn't all of them kind of look like Bratz dolls? Wasn't that kind of like the Little Mix aesthetic? I don't know. South Hypocrite says, I've been tired of the Netherlands' recent streak of sad songs, so Joost is a very welcome change. Yeah, I do think the Netherlands needs to give us something like with a little bit more of a lift, but I got nervous because I did hear a song from him that was giving a little bit more serious, that was giving a little bit more like downbeat. So, it made me nervous. It made me a little bit nervous, but like, we will see it. Someone said Mint Little Big. I agree with that comparison. It is a little big, but Little Mix. That's funny. Georgie. Jessie Nelson. Yeah, maybe that was her. It was so sad. She was like performing like she was really doing it, and it's like no one was like buying the sauce. No one was buying the sauce at all. I should have felt sad for her. So yeah, I am very excited for Joost. Thank you, the Netherlands. I'm looking forward to it. All right, and then our next person that was dropped, Raiven. Raiven is going to be representing Slovenia. Now, I will say, I was kind of excited about the prospect of EMA coming back because I did think that they sometimes had like interesting things. But Raiven, we have been long in the streets. We have been kind of, as a fandom, we have been kind of wanting her to represent Slovenia. So I kind of appreciate the broadcasters just going like, we're going to give you what you want. we're going to give you what you want. I appreciate that. And I think that she's an interesting artist. She's got a little bit of musicality. She's giving pop, but pop with a visual too. She dances, so she'll give us choreo. I just think it's going to be a treat for us who know her, so it'll be helpful for us. But I also think that what she is going to bring to the stage is going to be something that people at home who aren't familiar with her will be arrested. They will see this and then go like, who is this? So, in all televote, kind of semifinals, she's going to stand out. And I mean, we're living in a world now where you kind of have to. That you have to. Zohar says, I'm over here on Raiven hype train. Hop on board. Beep, beep, toot, toot. Choo, choo. Literally. I am excited. I feel like I will like it. I also will say, She has a tendency to sing, you know, like not in English too. So I think that's the other piece. So then we can just check that box of something that we feel like will possibly be native language. And I don't mind a mix of it. Like you could do your hook in English, but then do your verses. Like, or vice versa. Which I just feel like she's interesting. She's got musicality. She is such a strong performer. And I am really, really, really excited. I am really, really excited that she's going to be coming here. Okay. Oh, so here we go. Gospel. It's interesting to point out that they directly selected Raiven because she won the internal contest by a landslide. So there was no point in holding a national final. The jury involved both national and international. Boom. 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 ESC Dakota, I am beyond over Raiven. Her back catalog is fantastic, and we all know Veronica is going to serve us what we need. Yeah, she did tease what the song is about. So we're getting narrative. And she's a visual performer as well. So I feel like I will actually get an immersive stage performance. Because remember last year, some of our stagings were not good. Like, and it was crazy because the ones that were good were so good that then everything, you know, it felt like a disparity. There was a gap. I am really excited for her. Okay. I'm really excited for her. And I think it almost is one of those things that, like, as fans, it almost feels like a gift. Like it almost feels like a gift for us because we all have been saying her. Like, and I think even when we've talked about internal selections and when they'd even teased having an internal selection last year, and I will say, I think Joker Out was great. Like, I think I'm on record and there's no question there. But I mean, I remember when they were talking internal and the first thing I thought in my mind was Raiven because I was like, she's just been good. And like, we should figure out how to get her in. So she is in. And this is the other thing I can't help but bring up. But Bastian, imagine if Raiven brings Slovenia's first victory. We need to go someplace affordable. Slovenia is beautiful. I've got friends there. But no, like I really, really think, you know, I always have a candle lit for, you know, first time winners. And I always will kind of like cheer on a little bit internally for those countries that have never won Eurovision before. And Raiven is just so talented. So Benjamin says the story of Veronica, because just for those of you who don't know, the story of Veronica is about a royal accused of witchcraft and murdered for it. Also, it's not opera, but it's gonna have some operatic vocals. Y'all know I love a popper moment. Netta says, I love Raiven's concept with the witch trials. Excited about the operatic siren sounds that apparently are there. I am really hopeful. Because it's just everything that I like. It's everything that I like. It's what I come to Eurovision for. Okay. Okay, so let's move on and let's crack the door. And I will just say again, I am going to be reacting to Benidorm after State of Play. So I will be doing a live reaction to Benidorm Fest. I have not listened to any of the snippets, but you know, when we do the live reaction, we listen to the snippets, figure out like, what am I feeling? Like, what's the energy here? Like, what am I trying to go with? And then, you know, we sometimes hop into the live, like, you know, long form performances and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. We will see. Okay. Next up, I want to talk about, and I think this might be what we spend a lot of time talking about, but I'm going to share my screen just to have it up here so it's clear for you all. We've got 37 countries participating, and technically, isn't it possibly going to be less than that? Did they even put, here, let me see. Okay, so they didn't even put them up here. And they're hoping that perhaps Romania may, so whilst Romania is currently not confirmed to compete next year, talks are continuing with TVR on their potential participation as well. So, let's live in the 37 country space. My official opinion is they're going to have to do something about this. I just don't think it bodes well narratively for us to be losing countries along the way. Right? I am nervous. We got to figure out a more cost-effective way of making Eurovision happen to the scale with which it deserves to happen. You know what I mean? Like, because we're losing folks. We're losing folks, and we're not gaining enough along the way. I love that Luxembourg is back. Like, that's awesome. But North Macedonia, it hurt because they were like, no, we will see y'all next year. We're going to sit this one out and count our coins, and they're out. So let me hop into some of these. Yeah. So Dino is living in the world. I want 40 plus. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm Stevan. If they want to promote unity, they need to start uniting these countries. Uniting these countries in song on the Eurovision stage, okay? E-Dog says, really sad to see North Macedonia is out. I feel they need to change something so we stop losing countries. Agreed. Zohar says, we need Bosnia back. Yeah. And then let's see, Freshly Painted. True, but the countries not participating usually don't bring anything to the table. Hold up. North Macedonia they were coming back. They were coming back. And remember, we didn't really remember his song, but I remember that man on the stage with Daughter's shirt like a disco ball. I really do feel like, and Eurovision, now I'm going to kind of say the thing, like, yes, it is a song contest, but it is a showcase of, and it is an opportunity, an outreach opportunity for a lot of these countries to kind of put themselves out there in a global way. So to me, it's like almost, yes, it's about the song. Yes, it's about the performances. But to me, it's also about the representation. And as an American who comes to this for exposure and to just see what other countries are doing to expand my mind, to expand my taste, it hurts when I am getting less. I want more. Why Bailey, glad Australia is back. I didn't think that Australia was not going to come. Yeah. A Eurovision fan. Fam, hear me out. Raiven wins. Ljubljana hosts. And we get 42 countries. I mean, that's the thing. Hold on, but let's not jinx our girl. But we would love to see it happen. Don says, it feels like a downward spiral where less participating countries make participation more expensive, which then makes more countries drop out. I think that can be a factor. Like, if we've got more hands in the pot, more people contributing to that pot, then yeah, it possibly can be a cost-saving mechanism. I do agree there. Mantes, I miss Turkey. I'm very consistent in this. I liked what Turkey brought to the Eurovision Song Contest, and they took it serious. I feel like they would take it seriously. Like, they came wanting to win. And I do miss that energy. Energy like that is always going to be felt. Connor John, the Balkans are abandoning ship so hard. Yeah, which is another reason why we need a Balkan win. Soon. Freshly Painted and Monaco and Slovakia are really likely to compete next year, so it's fine. Well, I would love that. Lori says, well, as someone from Romania, I think we need 1 year off, especially after 2 years of drama, and to have time to decide if we want to do this or not. I'm living in that place. I think what happened with Roxanne was really unfortunate. I think last year with Theodore and all of that mess was really unfortunate. Romania also is a country that used to be like a Eurovision powerhouse. And Romania, I think, just in the world, Romania exports good music. So it's not like we're dealing with like a country where there isn't like a talent base there. And I do think I want Romania to come and come correct. And if taking off a year makes it so that'll happen, I'm all here for it. But my fear is that you take the year off, the broadcaster allocates funds for something else, maybe makes enough money off of, instead of the big show being Eurovision, they make it off of the three things, and then they just opt not to participate at all. And I'd like, that makes me sad. Bettina, I just hope North Macedonia will be back in 2025. I'm hoping on it. Vanessa J says, want to go back to 43 days. I do. I just do. I do. Kasper says, I die for Bulgaria being back. Yes, give me the quality, because that's the other thing too. We lost Bulgaria, and Bulgaria, we knew it would probably be a while, but I kind of thought Sweden winning, that they would want to come back, that this would almost be, because if we think of that triumphant moment of Polly Genova on the stage in 2016, giving us a performance like an interval act. I mean, I was like, oh, but perhaps we could have that happen. Oh, I want more countries participating at Eurovision. I think that's the point blank. Netta, North Macedonia were picking up their power, and Bulgaria was a contender for the win for a few years in a row. I think just speaking to this, but the countries we lost weren't really serving. I'm again, Romania had a power era at Eurovision. Let's get back to that. Bulgaria, I mean, hell, people were getting songs from Bulgaria. Okay. Hello. Got something that I can't deny. Come on. Symphonics were literally exporting songs like the likes of the Swedes. Okay? Good quality songs, all right? That were well executed for the most part, too. So that was the other thing. I miss it. It's what I come to Eurovision for. Happy times. A Balkan needs to win this year so we can get more countries. Please, Raiven, or maybe a Baltic country. I'm living there. I want us to get more. ESC Viral says Monaco and Andorra. Anything. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of not anything. Not any country. But yeah, anything that was sort of in the EBU network, I'd be down with more of the Middle East. Can we just come on? Let's put the pieces back together. Yeah. Okay, let's have a little bit. We're gonna remove the 37. And I kind of want to open up the floor and let's talk about some of these national selections, because, I officially came back to national selection season last year. And overall, I really, really enjoyed my national selection season experience. I noted one of my top listened to album last year was Festival da Canção. And I think some of y'all, maybe y'all don't believe me when I be saying that. I'm it is kind of my personal favorite national selection, in the sense that I'm I can just roll that music on even after Eurovision season is over. I can just turn to that playlist and just, hear everything that I need and want, and kind of give me a little bit of genres. And last year was no exception. I was loving them tracks. Lots of variety there, but also just a lot of things that are sort of Afro inspired. It feels ethnic, but it feels modern. I've been listening to the Bandera song. Okay, sorry. So yeah, then also I have to note, Finland was giving it to me in my top 5. Cause Benjamin, that was my 6, so I did an honorable mention for that track. And Kuma was there. It was there for me. And honestly, when I looked at my wrap up, and after I did my Melfest participants like announcement reaction, and y'all, I hopped promptly back into my Eurovision 2023 preseason playlist, and I need to start building it up for this year. I haven't started building it up yet. I will also say, what else did I get? Let me pull up this playlist. And here it is, right at the top of my playlist, because I'm telling you, I've been jamming. My playlist kicks off with Mi Familia, R.I.P. Fusa, and her career. Because, yeah. So, just walking around on stage aimlessly, yelling at us. And then I followed up with Mael's I've been on my own for way too long. Come on, Esty Lau. And Esty Lau, I'm running the tracks. I'm trying to see what you got for me this year, because not all the Esty Lau songs are on Apple. They only have a couple of them. But we'll talk about Esty Lau later. And then I had here we go. Okay. Which I will also say my daughter loves that song. Like when I play that one, she'll be like, again. So Norway was up in there. Okay. And then Rudamer. Yeah, Rudamer I had up in here. And then I had both of Aliona Moon's tracks hitting. And then, not to be left out, because y'all love to do it, Ireland's Euro song. I got... Y'all, this was a bop, and I cannot believe that song was not on Love Island. We gotta make it happen. He needs a better music agent. And then, come on, Agony, which I will say, y'all, I was on the fence, and I think I am now living in a world. This is crazy. I am now living in a world where maybe Agony would have been top 5 last year, because Israel did so well with an executed bop. Agony would have been the direct competition, and Spain would have showed out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, let me hop in. Yeah, so everyone was like, UMK 2023 was amazing. Yes, and the show itself. But I will say, UMK did not stage all the songs I felt in the most optimal way. Like, Kadia's was staged well. But like Benjamin's, I didn't think we had to stage it that way. Kiera's was alright. That was like the dance floor song. Even though she wasn't really able to do choreo, I was like, girl. I was like, they played you with that. But her vocal was great. Flawless. Flawless for a bop. And then, but Kuma's song was staged kind of dark and cold. And that wasn't really the vibe I had from the song, or even like so I just will say, UMK, y'all did it for me last year. Don't worry about it. But like, let's be a little bit more thoughtful about how we spread the love staging wise to the other ones. Okay, sorry. Okay. And then what else? So sorry. Oops, so many things. And then yeah, last year, booty, 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 so fat. I know you really, really, really want that. Y'all gotta check out my interview with her, because it was a really interesting. Yeah. And Gosford and Megara would have outsold other rock entries last year. I agree. I told y'all, the thing is, I was living in a world where I actually thought Megara could have done some things at Eurovision. I was worried, but I kind of was like, no, there's something about it that still feels melodic, and it was so well executed that I was like, oh, I don't know. Josh says, who are your faves in the Melfest lineup? Well, I don't want to do like all the obvious ones, but let's just get them out the way. Lisa IX, who announced that she's pregnant. Kudos to her. Boo boo, about to be a mom like me. But don't play, she'll still fight you. That's, yeah. So don't come beat me up, Lisa. So Lisa, love her. Danny Saucedo, yeah, it's going to be clean. I feel like all the songs he's done has gotten better. I love Dandy Dancer, so I'm hoping that we get something elevated in that level. Obviously, daughter. So let's get that out of the way. Who I'm most curious about are Jacqueline. And then actually, I wrote this down. Yeah, I think, Jacqueline. I'm excited about Claudie. I'm really excited about Cassie. I'm cool with. I don't know like if I would want her to, it depends. I gotta see the show. But yeah, I'm Dear Sarah, another debut. Loving the performances that I have seen of her performing before. And then is it C Joe's? Yeah, C Joe's. And of course my girl Ganilla. That's what I'm hyped for. Y'all, I was not planning on watching Melody Festival, and I'll be real. I was not planning on watching it. I'm gonna be watching Melody Festival. Okay. Antonio, Dance Melody Grand Prix has to step it up this year. Rumored returning Eurovision artist. Oh, is it gonna be Emily DeForest? Because she's still been around like Eurovision circles, so I wouldn't be surprised if she decided to come back. But I don't really know what she's been doing musically since. Only teardrops. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, so someone said you should, Janelle says you should definitely check out Dora this year. The participants were published today. Oh yeah, I know Let 3 is coming back. Dahmer's coming back, and I don't really care about that. Because then Dahmer had kind of like a boring song, right? Yeah, I'm not checking for that. I'll be checking to see what Let 3 wants to give. Because they'll probably win in the landslide again, right? Like, isn't that what we're preparing for? But, Croatia's not like that. Croatia will be like, okay, I was feeling you then. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna be feeling you now. So, like, we'll see. We'll see. Ooh says, apparently Pia Maria is in the shortlist for Austria. No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she's not. If she's been in the lab, then we will receive it. Okay, but I doubt that she'll be coming back, not in a real way. Oh, smart. Simpleton says, I really hope the returning act they'll bring back is Anya. We're talking about Dance Melody Grand Prix. So, Denmark. Here's the thing. I didn't love Anya's song. But I love her voice. So if she's coming back with like maybe like a little R&B track that's actually good, I'll definitely be all the way in. Yeah, all the way in. Georgie says, I fully expect Let 3 to win it again and then turn it down. Oh, they could. I could see them doing that. I could see them being like, look, we had an opportunity to go last year. Like, we're not going to go. Especially if, like, perhaps the runner-up is maybe someone new. Because they're, like, they actually seem, like, nice. Like, actual, like, kind people. Yeah, kind people. Okay, let me see. Giorgio says, on Eurovision World, the best rated national selection by fans is interestingly Melfest in 2023. I don't think that that's that surprising. And remember, people can vote for their own country. Like, people could vote. So this could just be a whole bunch of, like, Swedish Eurovision fans just being like, Melfest. Smart Simpleton says, I'm excited to hear Chelsea Muko. Yeah, I am too. I am checking for Chelsea. Joe and Chelsea. I don't know if Sweden's going to give it a shot. Like, I don't know, like a shot, like a fair enough shot to, like, advance. But I'm in. So... yeah. Okay, what do we got? Oh, Ole or Ollie. Do you think Finland are even more eager to win this year? I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like Finland, because there could also be that level of feeling like we did our best. Like, we did our very, very best. We put everything into it and we didn't win. So you can feel maybe a little bit defeated. But given the quality of UMK and just like, I mean, let's be real. So after, FDC, Festival da Canção, as like my favorite national selection last year, I have to, just noting like what was in my most played of last year, obviously it's UMK. I appreciate the fact that Finland does a little bit of like a quality over quantity sort of model. And I just hope that whatever they do this year, they kind of mix it up. I think that they will. Like, and they tend to do that anyway. So I think as long as they mix it up, like, I'm here to receive it. I'm here to receive it. Okay. What else I got? Oh, new comments. Whoa, so many comments. Antonio, which countries have Eurovision momentum this year? I mean, it's a lot though. In a weird way, Sweden always gets like host country momentum. Like, I mean, I remember people were talking about If I Were Sorry had a chance to like win again. Oh, y'all know I did not like that song. So I think it's a real thing that we have to consider. Yeah, I think that's a real thing we have to consider. I think Finland has great momentum. They really, really do. I think the Czech Republic did have momentum. I don't know where we're at right now. Norway has momentum. Norway has had momentum, and I just hope they don't go down too deep a kitsch route. And I hope they give us something a little bit out of the box this year. And I hope that they step up their staging. Because, like, honestly, Norway's national selection, I didn't really like any of the staging that they did, like, at all. In the national selection, like, I think there was, like, maybe 2 or 3 that felt, like, acceptable. And the rest, I was just like, oh, y'all just have the people standing on the stage. But to be honest, I thought Melfest was mailing it in for most of the staging last year, too. Like Lorene's staging was just so far and away the best package. It was sort of obvious. I was like, oh, we just spent all our money on this, and then everyone else was just standing up there with a microphone that they have to hold, you know? It's like we didn't even have enough money for headsets. So I was disappointed about that. I think I do think like I think if I have an eye towards a little bit in the South, I mean, Italy, I don't know if Italy really has momentum. They've just been so consistent. You know, it's like, is that momentum or is that just consistency? Like, you just continue to sort of deliver. I think France has momentum. I think France has had momentum, you know, since Barbara Pravi. I mean, and Quiet as It's Kept, I think they really had like solid momentum since Mercy, Mercy. And they've just not channeled it into something like fully channeled it into a win, unfortunately. Fernando Rojas says Spain's momentum was robbed. Yeah, it kind of was. But I do still think Benidorm has so many eyes and heat and excitement on it. I mean, just the fact that, like, what, Noche Entera was like a hit, I mean, that's good. That's what you want. But, yeah, let's talk about Netta. I think we need to talk about the potential of Greece winning with Marina Sati. Yeah, and the buzz that I'm hearing coming out of like what they're teasing of like what it could be, I'm in. Y'all already know. I'm in. Dur says Lithuania always has some momentum. I don't know about that. I think it's a little bit roller coaster. It's like sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Because I mean, like, no one was thinking Lithuania was going to win last year. But if we were talking Ruta Mur, I think there would have been more conversation just because kind of the intrigue and charisma of like Ruta Mur as a performer and kind of giving us that 80s sound that was just so prevalent last year. And like 80s sound in a different way that other people were packaging 80s. I'm Steven. France needs to stop changing their approach and try to stick to one format for a while. I agree. I think that Destination Eurovision actually was helpful. Like having a national selection was helpful for France at Eurovision. It created like a nice buzz. Says Greece's artists rejecting songs is honestly a good sign to me. Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like all the things that I am hearing coming out of the Greek camp and like Marina, and not just to mention her back catalog, like I have like all the high hopes there. All the high hopes. Dino, 5 countries you want to see win. It's funny because I actually I'm going to do a podcast and I probably need to write this down because I was like, I need to be fair. I can't just be saying I want to see like, 25 of the 37 countries win Eurovision soon. But I did do a list the other day and I was kind of like based off of the list that I had previously. And so we checked the box because I had said on that list that I had like 10 countries that are going to win Eurovision soon. One of the countries that I did have checked off was Sweden. I was like, I wish it was, and I think I even said like, I wish it was Finland, but I think it'll probably be Sweden. So let me start off and just say, I actually think the UK is going to win Eurovision soon. I think we've got 7 more years left. And even though, instead I wrote a song, I actually think the UK does have some solid momentum because I think they were great hosts last year. And I think people loved May and the song. It just wasn't executed well, but I don't think that killed their momentum, if that makes any sense. I definitely want to see Greece win soon. I've talked about that several times selfishly. I think Greece has got maybe 5 more years to go. But I feel it coming. I do. Of the Nordics, Iceland is probably like top of my list of what I want, like who I would like to see win soon. And personally, I've always said I want to see Finland win because just off the strength that Finland gave us one of the best Eurovision grand final openings ever. Period. I've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't want to bore people. Next up, I'm on record. I need a Balkan, and I feel like Serbia is going to be the Balkan that gives it to me. But I think I said asterisk with EMA, Slovenia. I felt like we had, and remember, like I just felt like Slovenia actually was like serving a lot of like current and like fresh and fun and not being too. But they were also a little bit yo-yo because sometimes they would pick something fresh, something good, and then sometimes we get something that was like, ooh, what? How did that happen? No, but yeah, Slovenia, I'd love to see it for them. And honestly, I'd like to see Spain win soon. It like TikTok. Like it's just Spain's got to win soon. Personally, I'd like to see France win soon, but they're just not keeping it. They're not keeping it consistent enough for me. So I kind of went over. I did 6, but like I said, I have a podcast coming out soon that's going to be like the 10 countries that I want to see win Eurovision soon. Oh my goodness. And I just want to say, I don't always do this. I just want to take an opportunity to thank all of y'all for sitting here watching. If you haven't already, please like this video. Please subscribe. I've got so much content coming for you. There's so many people watching right now. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Again, if you want to hang back, like after this, I am going to, I'm going to be reacting to Benidorm live for you. So yeah. Here we go. Gospel. And I could see Latvia pull shock win out of nowhere. That's the kind of country I could see to do that. I kind of feel like Latvia, I don't know, maybe I feel like Lithuania is also a country that could do that. Like, and I've kind of been waiting for Lithuania to do it. Like, I feel like I've been waiting for Lithuania just to, like, come up with that track and just capitalize on it and get it done. Yeah, I really, I think Lithuania's coming with one soon for us. I do, but again, I do think with the national selection, it's a little bit up and down for me. It, like, goes on so long, because, like, y'all know I was won over by Shuto, Tuto. But when I reflect back on some of the songs, like it's hard for me to just get out of the greatness that was Solo. Like Rudemer, I really wish Lithuania gave that to us last year. I could drive forever. Okay. Yeah. Rye Bailey says Latvia needs to make the final first before they win. Yeah. And it's hard because I feel like most countries I have got like a little bit of advice for where I'm like, oh, if I were you, I would do this to like ensure the win, blah, blah, blah. And with Latvia, I'm kind of like, I don't even know what y'all can do. Because I'm like at a loss because it's just not happening. Like the qualification is just not happening. And I felt like we were on like a nice path. And then we got derailed and we just never got back on the bus. And it's kind of sad. ESC Dakota, first of all, thank you. Thank you. Albania is criminally overdue for a win. I do. The thing with Albania, though, is I don't know if Feek is the one to get it done. I think that's the problem with Albania is Feek really might not be the model. And the thing is, they could keep Feek. But, like, what if the broadcaster just did an internal selection? Because Albania has so many, like, talented folks, like, that I feel like chart, like, outside. And I'm like, I kind of want to see that. Not to mention, like, Albania has a diaspora they can tap into as well. Like, in the same way that Armenia does. I want to see Armenia win Eurovision, the big show. Let me read the rest of the comments. Serbia and Lithuania have been building major momentum. Y'all better like the video and run Miss Alesia that check. Run me my check. All right, but I gotta go because we gotta get ready to talk about Benny Dorm. Benny Dorm. I'm excited. I don't have like super high hopes, but I'm excited. And actually, I did my reaction to Czech Republic's representative. Did y'all watch it? I don't think a lot of people watched it. I react to the music video and the live performance, and I have notes. So let's get to it. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like this video. Please subscribe. I have so much content coming for you. And honestly, I kind of want to play my State of Play intro again, even though it like says that the show is going to start. But, just to really drive home the point, and I'm going to be back talking about Benny Dorm.
The Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play.
We have a Eurovision